Somewhere in Botswana, a 250-ton haul truck pulls out of a hole in the earth that is 3 kilometers wide and 400 meters deep. Inside that truck is rock. Millions of tons of rock processed every year to extract a few thousand carats of rough diamond. The mining cost per polished carat at a major African mine runs between $200 and $300. The retail price of that same carat, set in a ring, sitting in a Tiffany case, under warm lighting in a Manhattan store, anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000. That markup exists not because diamonds are rare. They are not. It exists because one company, for nearly a century, convinced the entire world that they were. And here's the part that should bother ye: it worked.
What does it actually cost to own a diamond mine?
So let us start at the beginning. You want to own a diamond mine. Fine. First, you need to find one. Exploration. Before a single stone is pulled from the ground, you spend years searching for kimberlite pipes, the volcanic formations where diamonds form under extreme heat and pressure about 150 kilometers below the Earth's surface. Exploration costs on a prospective mining site run between $50 million and $200 million. And most exploration programs find nothing commercially viable. You can spend $80 million over 5 years and walk away with a geological report that says, not worth it. If you do find something, you build. An open-pit mine like Jwaneng in Botswana, the richest diamond mine on Earth by value, cost over $2 billion to develop. An underground mine like the Venetia mine in South Africa, currently being converted by De Beers, is projected to cost $2.1 billion in capital investment just for the underground extension.
That does not include the 30 years of surface mining that preceded it. Then you operate. Daily operating costs at a major mine include explosives, heavy equipment fuel, sorting facilities, X-ray detection technology, security systems, labor for hundreds of workers, and then the overhead of compliance, government royalties, and export permits. All-in sustaining cost per carat at the Orapa mine in Botswana, one of the world's largest by volume, sits around $63 per carat. At higher grade mines with smaller volumes, that number climbs above $300. The math is simple. The capital commitment is not. The mine owns you before you own the mine.
De Beers and the cartel that built the industry.
Now here is where it gets interesting, because for most of the 20th century, owning a diamond mine without De Beers' permission was a theoretical concept. De Beers was founded in 1888 by Cecil Rhodes in South Africa. By the 1930s, under Ernest Oppenheimer, the company had constructed something extraordinary: a single-channel distribution system that controlled the global supply of rough diamonds. Every mine that found diamonds had 2 choices: join the De Beers system and sell through their central selling organization at prices De Beers set, or try to sell independently and find that De Beers had quietly flooded the market with the same type of stones, collapsing your price until you came back to the table.
At its peak in the 1980s, De Beers controlled approximately 85% of the world's rough diamond supply. They held massive stockpiles, not to sell, but to restrict. The purpose of the stockpile was to ensure that supply never exceeded what the market could absorb at the price they wanted. This is not capitalism. It is its precise opposite, and it ran for 70 years. In 2004, De Beers pleaded guilty in a U.S. federal court to price-fixing charges and paid a $10 million fine. $10 million for 7 decades of one of the most effective monopolies in commercial history. I am not done yet. The cartel did not just control price, it controlled belief. A diamond is forever. The campaign that rewired psychology. A diamond is forever? The campaign that rewired psychology.
In 1938, De Beers hired an American advertising agency called N.W. Ayer. They had a problem. Diamond sales in the United States were declining. The Great Depression had convinced people that buying an expensive stone for an engagement ring was an absurd luxury. They were correct. It was. N.W. Ayer's strategy was not to sell diamonds. It was to sell the idea that a diamond engagement ring was not a luxury, but an obligation.
a social contract, a proof of love calibrated directly to its price. They worked with Hollywood studios to ensure leading men gave diamond rings on screen. They briefed fashion editors. They placed diamonds on the fingers of British royalty and photographed the results. And in 1947, copywriter Francis Garrity wrote 4 words: "A diamond is forever." Advertising Age magazine called it the most effective advertising slogan of the 20th century. What it actually did was solve De Beers' secondary market problem. If diamonds hold their value forever, you never sell your diamond. A used diamond market would collapse prices. So the campaign psychologically prevented resale. Your grandmother's diamond stays in the family. It is sentimental. It is forever. It is never back on the market competing with De Beers' new supply. Stay with me. In Japan in 1967, fewer than 5% of brides received a diamond engagement ring. De Beers ran a targeted campaign positioning diamonds as a symbol of modern Western romance. By 1981, that number was 60%. They built a consumer market from nothing in 14 years in a country that had zero cultural tradition of diamond rings. That is not marketing. That is manufacturing desire at an industrial scale.
The product was never the diamond. The product was the story around it.
Rough to polished, where the money actually goes.
Now let us follow a diamond from the ground to your finger, because the economics of that journey will genuinely infuriate you. A rough diamond comes out of the ground. It is sorted, valued, and sold at tender or through a sightholder arrangement to a cutting and polishing center. The world's main cutting centers are Antwerp, Mumbai, Surat in India, Tel Aviv, and increasingly China. India cuts and polishes approximately 90% of the world's diamonds by volume. Surat alone employs over 500,000 diamond workers.
Here is what happens to the value. A rough diamond valued at $100 at the mine gate becomes a polished stone worth approximately $150 to $200 after cutting. The cutting margin is thin, maybe 15 to 20% at best, often less, because cutting and polishing is labor-intensive, and the cutters compete fiercely with each other. That $150 polished stone then moves through a dealer or broker, add another 20 to 30%. It reaches a jewelry manufacturer, gold or platinum setting, GIA certification, branded packaging. It reaches a retailer, Tiffany, Cartier, Zales, a local independent. Retail markup in the jewelry industry runs 100 to 200%. That $150 stone is now $900 to $1,500 in a case. In a luxury brand setting, easily $4,000 to $10,000. The mine gets the smallest share of its own product's final price. And that is not even the worst part.
Blood diamonds and the Kimberley process.
In the 1990s, the diamond industry's deepest problem became visible to the world. Not the monopoly pricing, not the manufactured scarcity. The fact that diamond revenues were funding civil wars. In Sierra Leone, the Revolutionary United Front controlled diamond mines in the east of the country and used the revenues to fund a war that killed 50,000 people. In Angola, UNITA rebels financed 20 years of civil war and approximately 500,000 deaths, with diamond revenues estimated at $3.7 billion over 2 decades. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, diamond revenues funded multiple armed factions simultaneously.
The Kimberley Process Certification Scheme was launched in 2003 to certify that rough diamonds were conflict-free. On paper, it covers 99.8% of the global rough diamond supply. In practice, it has a definitional problem that human rights organizations have been pointing out for 20 years. The Kimberley process only covers diamonds that fund rebel movements against recognized governments. It does not cover diamonds mined using forced labor by a recognized government. It does not cover diamonds from areas of human rights abuse that are not technically classified as conflict zones. In 2011, Zimbabwe's Morange diamond fields, where the military had killed over 200 illegal miners and used forced labor, were granted Kimberley process certification. Global Witness, one of the founding members of the Kimberley process, resigned from it in 2011 in protest, calling it an accomplice to diamond laundering. A certificate does not change what happened to get the stone to the surface.
the full cost structure of a diamond mine.
Let us go back to the numbers. A producing diamond mine has 4 major cost categories. First, capital expenditure. This is the billion-dollar entry cost. Building the pit, the processing plant, the sorting facility, the power supply, worker housing in remote locations. This is sunk before a single stone is sold. Second, operating cost. Blasting, loading, hauling, crushing, processing. At a large open pit mine, you process between 10 and 40 million tons of ore per year to recover a fraction of a percent in diamonds. At the Jawani mine, the ore grade is approximately 0.6 carats per ton of ore. You move and crush 1,000 kilograms of rock to get 0.6 carats. Operating costs per ton of ore processed at major mines run between $8 and $25.
Third, government take. Diamond-producing nations are not stupid. Botswana's government owns 50% of Debswana, the mining joint venture it holds with De Beers. Royalties, taxes, and government equity typically take 40 to 65% of mine revenue in major producing countries. If you own the private equity stake in a mine, you are keeping 30 to 40 cents of every dollar after operating costs, before debt service. Fourth, security. A diamond mine is one of the most secured industrial facilities on Earth. Workers pass through X-ray machines and body scanners. Rough stone exits through sealed containers with satellite tracking. Internal theft, called pilferage, is estimated to cost the industry $300 million to $600 million per year globally.
The security infrastructure to prevent it costs almost as much. The economics only work at scale, with volume, with price discipline, and with the right government relationship.
Lab-grown diamonds and the disruption. Here is the problem that the diamond mining industry did not want to arrive. And then it did. A lab-grown diamond is physically, chemically, and optically identical to a mined diamond. Same carbon lattice, same hardness, same refractive index. A gemologist with a standard loupe cannot tell the difference. You need specialized spectroscopic equipment. In 2008, a 1-carat lab-grown diamond cost approximately $4,000 to produce. By 2023, the production cost had fallen to under $300 per carat. The exact same trajectory as every other manufactured technology. Steep cost reduction through process improvement and scale. In 2023, lab-grown diamonds represented approximately 17% of global diamond jewelry sales by volume. A 1-carat lab-grown diamond jewelry that retailed for $4,500 in 2016 now retails for under $800. That is not a niche market disruption. That is a price floor being removed from beneath an entire industry. De Beers' response was interesting. In 2018, they launched their own lab-grown diamond jewelry brand called Lightbox, deliberately pricing lab-grown stones at $800 per carat, significantly below market, to signal that lab-grown diamonds are a commodity, not a premium product, and to protect the perceived value of their mined stones. The strategy is visible, and the logic is correct, but it requires that the story around mined diamonds holds. That is getting harder every day. When the product is identical and the price is 1/10, the story has to work extremely hard.
What happens to mine economics when the illusion breaks? This is the structural threat that every diamond mining company is managing right now, and it is not theoretical. In 2023, rough diamond prices fell 25% year on year. The midstream, the cutting and polishing trade centered in Surat and Antwerp, was sitting on inventory it had bought at higher prices and could not sell at any price that covered cost. Antwerp Diamond Bank had already exited the sector in 2014. ABN AMRO, one of the largest lenders to the diamond trade, was reducing exposure. When the banks leave a sector, they are not being dramatic. They are reading the numbers before you do. For a mine owner, the cascade looks like this. Lab-grown diamond adoption rises. Polished diamond prices fall. Rough diamond prices fall in response. Mine revenues fall. The capital invested in a $2 billion mine now needs to recover its cost from a product generating 25% less revenue than the business case projected. Some mines that were economically viable at $120 per carat are borderline at $90 per carat. Marginal mines close. Alrosa, the Russian state diamond company that is the world's largest diamond producer by volume, mining approximately 30% of global supply, had its revenues fall from $4.2 billion in 2021 to substantially lower in 2022 and 2023 due to a combination of Western sanctions following the Ukraine invasion and falling prices. The dual pressure of geopolitical exclusion and market disruption simultaneously. That is a mine economics crisis that no hedging strategy fully absorbs. A business built on a belief is vulnerable the moment the belief wavers. Who actually wins?
So after all of this, the $2 billion capital cost, the government take, the security overhead, the cartel history, the lab-grown disruption, the falling prices, who actually makes money in diamonds? The retailer. Always the retailer. Tiffany was acquired by LVMH in 2021 for $15.8 billion. Not for its diamond mines. Tiffany does not own mines. It owns a brand. It owns the blue box. It owns the story attached to the object inside the box. LVMH paid $15.8 billion for the gap between what a diamond costs and what someone will pay for it when it is presented correctly. Cartier's parent company, Richemont, generated $21.2 billion in revenue in fiscal 2023. Its jewelry division runs at operating margins above 35%. A mine runs at operating margins of 15 to 25% in a good year. The brand captured the value that geology created and human labor extracted.
The mine is the beginning of the value chain and the most capital-intensive part of it. The brand is the end of the value chain and the most profitable part of it. Every carat travels from maximum cost to minimum margin on the mining side, and from minimum cost to maximum margin on the retail side. The geology does the hard work. The story does the profitable work. And the consumer? The consumer pays $6,000 for something that costs $300 to bring out of the ground and considers it a bargain because it is forever. That is the most elegant business model in history. Not because of the diamonds, because of the 4 words that made you forget to ask the price. The diamond is not the product. The belief in the diamond is the product. And that has been the most profitable mine of all.